The most recent experience I can tell you about, which is that of Taser, one of our dogs who's still in the shelter at the moment. Taser's a Ridgeback cross girl. She's about 2.5 years old. She came in with her, not sure if it's her brother or it's a relation, Buddy, the Ridgeback cross. They both came to us due to their owner's relationship breaking down and situations changed, and so the two dogs were surrendered to us. Buddy had a very different personality to Taser and dealt with the shelter environment a lot more, adapted very quickly, where Taser found it very, very difficult coming here. They were family dogs, they were loved prior to coming here, and so it was really hard to see, particularly in Taser, how emotionally affected she was by coming here. And look, she didn't know what was going on, where have her family gone, and it was very tough to see that in her face. Some dogs adapt better than others, and Taser really found it tough. Buddy was adopted very quickly, so what made it even more difficult for poor Taser, who had not only lost her parents and family, but then has lost her best friend as well. I found it heartbreaking to walk past her pen and just have her sit there and not react to anything. That was in the first couple of weeks of her being here. Our staff and our volunteers went out of their way to pour attention onto Taser and try and bring out her personality and get it, because it's heartbreaking. It's so difficult to watch. I went out with her about a week and a half ago. She was out in one of the yards having a play, but not really playing, very much sitting there and kind of watching people go past. I went in and sat with her for 5 or 10 minutes, and so she knew who I was and she began to trust me, and I tried to get into her head and work out, well, what makes her tick, what can I get her to sort of to perk her up a bit, and I realised it was a ball. So I did my experimenting of what makes Taser tick. Every dog, every cat, every animal has something that will bring out the life in them, and as I said, Taser really was having a tough time, but I knew there had to be something. It wasn't treats. The volunteers had said, no, she doesn't take treats. So we tried with a ring toy, rolling that along the ground. No, she wasn't interested, but I saw when I threw the ball a glimmer in her eyes, and her ears pricked up a little bit, and I thought, hang on, well, there's a reaction there. The first few times of throwing it, first 10 minutes of throwing it, she wasn't interested, but as I patted her and talked to her and she sat on my feet and I had my arm around her, she loosened up a bit more. She was really missing that interaction with her family. That she after 15, 20 minutes maybe of really taking the time with her to understand her, she began to react. And first she got up and chased the ball and brought it back, and slowly her tail started wagging, big smile on her face. And started jumping for the ball, which is a big girl. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing to watch. Spending that little bit of time with Taser was, and as I said, the staff and volunteers prior had done the same thing. We had really tried to work with her to see that change in her. And now today, over the past couple of days, I've had a couple of the volunteers coming up and saying, I saw Taser today and she was playing and she was happy. So that's, to me, is beautiful, and it really sums up, as I said, who we are as far as really making that extra effort, not only for the animals' physical welfare, but their emotional welfare as well.